You're listening to the Fantasy Fluffers with Parker and Dex.
What do you think about moving to small ices, dude?
Woo!
Come to Daddy.
Daddy's back
A big ice, cause we're doing big ices
every
week,
fucking
boys.
week.
I ain't no bitch. Let's go. Big ices only.
What a fucking drop! And finally, we're back. It's been a hiatus, boys, and we've missed you. I'm Dex. That's Parker Left Swinging Johnson.
Howdy.
And as you heard in the intro, we're the Fantasy Fluffers.
Welcome back, boys.
We've missed you. Kind of hectic since Chicago.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So you got a job,
I got a J.O.B.
and you've been busy as fuck.
Just a tad.
And so we missed last week's podcast, unfortunately.
That was a mixture of hungover, not prepared, and I was working a shit ton.
It was a short week. We had a lot to do.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. But you know what they say in Atomic Habits is never miss twice. So we're here, despite all odds, getting it done next week.
So, as you know, we sometime days past not ago, we went to Chicago and did our draft.
Words are hard today.
Yeah, not a good one. And it was a draft that will never be topped.
Best draft we've ever done, hands down.
We will never hit that level. I'm peaked in life.
Did you?
I
When you were hypnotized?
No.
Would you rate your hypnotism as one of the most relaxed, top 5 relaxations of your entire life?
I'd rate it as the top 2 most relaxed I've ever been.
What's the number 1?
The first time I got high.
Ah, nice.
So like that first high where you're just like it actually reminded me of being high, where you have the body high and you're buzzed.
Yeah.
That's how being hypnotized felt. I wasn't on Paul's level. I will say it.
We all know that, yeah.
It's
very obvious.
I tried so hard to play along, and then you fucks, I could constantly hear Gabe laughing. Constantly hear him laughing. And I was like, I hope they're not looking at me because I'm grinning ear to ear right now with my eyes closed.
It was really enjoyable. I kind of regret not getting hypnotized myself, to be honest.
I don't know if you would have let him.
I don't know how it would have gone,
I feel like you're
but that's
too defensive.
It's one of the reasons why I'm regret it, because I want to know what would have happened.
He literally puts his hand on your head and says, go to sleep. And I'm like, okay. I'm
it's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm doing it, but it's only because part of it's showmanship, and then it just being not making this awkward. But once you do it the first time, it's kind of relaxing, being told what to do. I now understand why people want dominatrixes in their life.
To put you to sleep?
Or other things. Just tell me what to do.
They'll put you to sleep in a different way.
In the good way.
In a good way.
So, for those who don't know, we went to Chicago, night 1, went out to Gibson Steakhouse, had us a little meet. Our boy Parker Johnson, in a very classy restaurant, picks his fucking steak up by the bone and just eats it like a carnivore.
Well, Paul and Dustin split the 64-ounce porterhouse.
64 ounces of fucking meat.
That was actually Andrew. Miscredited.
Miller.
Not the last time this pod.
Yeah. We all got drunk there.
Yeah. I had to go to sleep dude, I didn't stay up for another 2 hours after that. I was passed out. I was so full.
Oh, we all did go. And that was the night where we all went home.
We got back and Daniel was like, let's play baseball, the beer pong drinking game. And I was like, I'll try, but I'm very full. And he explains to me what you have to drink in that game. It's you could put down a beer and a half in one turn.
And that's when we switched to a beer pong. I remember now.
Yeah.
We stayed up late that night.
Yeah, we did.
Because I couldn't go to sleep till everyone left the living room.
Hands down, best drafts we've ever had.
Then, so wake up the next morning. It's slow. It's sluggish. Parker and Gabe go get breakfast.
That's right.
Brad and I do our own thing. Run into Parker and Gabe.
Yep.
Get breakfast. Literally the next restaurant next to them. Bring back food. Draft starts. ASAP. Dive in. Let's go.
It was a good draft. I felt pretty good coming out of it. I feel less good now.
So for our thousands and thousands of members out there, audience, subscribers, lovers, haters, all of it. The way we decide our draft is we take 10 shot glasses. We take a clear alcohol. We put that alcohol in 9 of them, a water in 1. Whoever gets the water is out. Now 9 shot glasses, 8 alcohols, 1 water, all the way down to we're 1 and 1. 1 alcohol, 1 shot glass. That means the motherfucker who takes the last one has now had 10 shots. That person gets to choose what pick he wants in the draft and then goes reverse order. So we got some toasted motherfuckers ready to go.
Yeah, and then ideally everyone drinks during the draft too, except for one person. Do you know who didn't drink at all during the draft?
Charlie.
It was Charlie.
Yeah. Charlie's a pussy.
Charlie not only puked up the only shot he took, but didn't drink during the draft.
Yeah, we had 4 people throw up during the draft, and guess what? Daddy Dex was one of them.
Dude, not my champion. Didn't have a single drop of alcohol in him during the draft.
Oh yeah,
Not my champ.
And he's made me throw up. I watched him throw up, and it was like I saw it, and I heard him gag, and I was over.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Trading draft picks.
Wait,
There's only like
we're
2 or 3
almost
people.
there. Who else threw up?
Was it Brad?
I threw up. Charlie threw up. Dustin threw up.
Dustin threw up.
There was someone else.
I've never thrown up during the draft,
Well,
which is pretty good for a guy who can't burp.
we're gonna put that on his gravestone.
Didn't throw up during the draft. I like it. What do you think about trading draft picks, though?
I didn't do it, but I thought it was good. It went well. It went a lot better.
I was too scared. It's just like in hindsight, I know which rounds I would have traded away. Would have been like 6 and 7 for like a higher one, but it is what it is, and I didn't do that.
Yeah, so we put in a new rule this year where we could trade our draft picks. There was a decent amount, more than I thought. I will say Miller did it, and I don't think he did it well. I think he had the mindset of more was better.
More picks.
Yes.
Well, no one got more picks, right? Because
Well, I meant, but like once you hit rounds like 13 through 16, it's kind of bullshit.
yeah, it is all shit.
So-
That being said, I wish I could have had a few more. I mean, I got some decent picks in the late rounds, but still.
Yes. So draft went well. So here was our order. We had the lovely Gabe at number 1. Number 2.
Hey, this is Gabe's second time being the first pick.
Really?
Was Gabe the first pick? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm 100% sure because I'm looking at the draft board right now, and if I'm wrong, I'm really fucking stupid. So it went Gabe, Brad, Daniel, Miller, Dex, Mike, Charlie, Dustin, Paul, Parker.
Yep, that's right.
So first round, with the first pick, Gab goes Barkley. You can't be mad at him with Barkley.
Nope, great play.
Yeah, honestly, Andrew picking up Zeke Elliott was like the iffiest one with the 4th pick. But they had said he was going to sign, and he ended up playing, so it kind of
Yep.
worked out.
And they looked pretty good, too.
Yeah, looked great. We had 9 running backs going round 1. 1 wide receiver. I've done a lot of mock drafts. I've seen a lot of other people's drafts. That is the first time I've seen that many running backs going
Ever?
round.
I got intimidated into doing a running back first round
Parker,
for sure.
So Parker, tell them what your plan was beforehand.
It wasn't my I wasn't a
All
hard
right,
fast plan.
You had an idea, and your pick, you
Well-
lined up perfect for it.
Don't worry, I'll shit on myself for it. My plan was that if everyone went running back, like if the value is there, I'd go 2 wide receiver, right? But I also don't hate Chubb, and what I was saying earlier is there's 4 other running backs that could have dropped to my pick, and if that had happened, then I would have gone 2 wide receiver. But I don't mind Chubb that much. This is fucked up. And so yeah, I ended up getting it. But I mean, honestly, I probably would have grabbed Juju and Devontae Adams, and Juju did trash this weekend. So
I was gonna ask. So I'm gonna tell you, you're fucking dumb. If you would have went Juju and Devontae Adams and not Michael Thomas and Devontae Adams or Julio Jones. I love Juju too. I'm a Juju stan.
oh, so you're saying that I should have gone Thomas or Jones?
Yeah. If you were going to be a wide receiver, I would have recommended Thomas and Devontae Adams or Thomas and Julio Jones.
Yeah, I mean that's what the ADP says too. But
Okay.
I like Juju, and if I'm going 2 wide receiver, I get a little bit of flexibility to grab the guy that I.
You get no flexibility because you're not getting a running back. But that's neither here or there. So that was our trip in Chicago. And, oh, wait, no, it wasn't. There was actually a whole other fucking day. Let's finish after the draft. So we spent, let's say, 2.5 hours, 3 hours drunkenly drafting. Then that's when the hypnotist came. Afterwards, that, as they told you. Then we went to dinner.
Where did we go to dinner at? We went
A
to
burger
the
place.
Yeah, the metal,
metal bar.
Great
and
burger.
then we found another metal bar where we got to play Nintendo 64.
Smash.
And we were garbage.
Yeah.
It is like...
It's like playing in mud.
I used to think I was like one of the best in the world.
Really?
Oh, I'm definitely top 1%. In the world. Am I not top 1%?
No. You're barely competitive with
Do
the
you
rest
know
of us.
how many people are in the world?
Barely yeah.
Do you
I mean,
know-
all right, yeah, of all the people.
Yeah, no fucking shit. You just got lawyered, you dumb fuck.
You're
God
talking about
damn.
people who still actively
God
played.
damn, it's so hard to be the smartest in this room.
I mean,
all
if
the
you
time.
have to sandbag the ranks that bad to have any sort of significance, then yeah, you are
Parker,
top
I didn't
1%.
sandbag nothing. I gave facts. If you don't understand them, next time say, Dex, can you please explain? I can't understand what you're saying.
Let's skip to this week's results of. No, I'm just kidding. It's way later.
Then we did dinner. Then the next day, we woke up in the morning. We were all hungover drunk. So, as the glorified, the great, the person this league follows, everything I do, their ears perk and they have to follow me. I came in last place, and because of that, I had a punishment. And guess what they did? They decided that as the person who moves the needle, as the person that keeps this league going, we have to make this something we will never top. It'll never be better than this. We might as well end the taco ship now, because I promise
You would want that.
it will never happen again. This was amazing. And I applaud you guys. Whoever the fuck's idea was it, Parker, explain them what you guys did.
We dressed you up as a gay little unicorn boy with a choker and everything and a tail.
tell you, I was one gay little unicorn boy that day.
You rocked it though. You did great.
I had to. There was no other. I was sweating. I was nervous. And like once you guys started getting me drinks and letting me drink stuff, it was easy. I got over it and stuff. But I will say at the beginning, I was not comfortable.
How long did it take for you to? When was the moment that you started to feel loose?
When we were at the first bar across the street, and I had 3 drinks that I downed, and a girl looked at me like with a weird look, and I looked at her back, and I was just like, I like your shirt. And she was like, I like yours too. And then that's when people was like, okay, let's take pictures with him. And I was like, all right, let's go full lean. That's all you can fucking do.
You did very well.
I will say, when we were at the Chicago Cubs game, and I was wearing that, and this lady, mid-50s probably. If you're younger than that, I apologize. I was drunk. She comes up to me, and she's like, sweetie, I love your outfit. But do you know what makes it? It's your belly.
She's not wrong.
What the fuck does that mean?
She's not wrong.
Yeah, I've been working on this the entire year for this moment. Thank you.
My whole life I've been building this
Yeah,
belly.
she's my fucking belly. I will say, who was at the bar, the tiki bar?
I was at the tiki bar.
You were.
Yeah.
And we met some girls, and the only reason they talked to us was because what I look like. And I, to this day, will say the middle one was not the mother.
She was.
I know. They all added me on Instagram.
They were really hot. Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I know.
Well
but
done.
then I commented on the one who's talking to me the most Instagram story, and she just responded back, haha. So we will no longer be talking to each other.
Very mature response to that.
I was like, all right, this is not what she... Okay, bye.
You did well, though. You did very well.
It was a good time. We enjoyed it, and then we all flew home hungover.
Yep.
And our lovely Parker and Paul had the great idea to take our draft results and send it to...
Mr. J.J. Zacharyson.
who has been very nice enough to sponsor this pod. First sponsorship of the fucking year.
Yep.
You can go and see his website at...
Draftconsultants.com.
What a
I
great
think.
guy. We appreciate it. He's listened. He loves it. He understands the depth we get into the fantasy world and was like, hey, I'll do this for you guys. Give me a little bit of sponsorship. We got you. And we want to say thank you. And now for our lovely audience, here is...
JJ Zacharyson. Also, he has a podcast called Living the Stream, of note. Take a listen.
But
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Draft Recap Podcast for the 10 Guys 1 Cup Fantasy Football League. I'm Denny Carter from Living the Stream and DraftDayConsultants.com. I'm utterly horrified by your league's name, unless I'm just misunderstanding something basic here.
hey, you are not
Nevertheless,
misunderstanding anything, buddy.
Let's get into these rosters and see just how awful they are. I'm kidding, of course. I'm sure at least some of them are not terrible. One thing is very apparent in the first round here of this 10-team draft. You all love you some running backs. 9.
all day, every day, the running back.
Yo.
Of the first 10 guys off the board are running backs. The only person to go with wide receiver was Dustin, who starts with Nuke Hopkins, followed by Julio Jones. Dustin, that is an incredible start. I love it. Yes, I bring my own personal biases into these draft recap podcasts because I have not programmed the machine to do them for me yet, so it will come with bias. I love a wide receiver start.
I bet you also love jerking off left-handed, buddy. Because I'm not going to lie, that might be the dumbest fucking thing I have ever heard. Go on.
You were just giving me shit for not going wide receiver.
Because you said you would. I literally, if you're going to say you're going to do it. But you clenched up
I said
real
I
tight,
might. I said
and
I
you
might.
got fucking nervous. Let's let the professional say what he's going to say.
All right.
Of course, Dustin completely blows it in the third round and takes Patrick Mahomes, but he had a good run. He had me at hello and at 2 wide receivers in the first 2 rounds, blows it with Mahomes in the third, an utter disaster with Derrick Henry in the fourth, followed by an inexplicably weird pick of Philip Lindsay.
So I think it's like very apparent at this point that this is immediately dated because Derrick Henry, what did you say, was the highest scoring running back?
No, I don't know if he was the highest scorer, but Dustin was the high scorer of our league.
Yes.
So there's that. But week 1 jitters, don't look too much into it, as we'll get into later.
In the fifth, I'm very confused by those 2 picks. But hey, Hopkins and Julio. Moving on to Parker's team, I see George Kittle drafted in the 4th. It's not really my thing to go in on an early round tight end.
JJ, I need to know, what is your thing though? What are you about? I need a little bit more depth.
I'll give you the heads up. What do you want to know about him?
About JJ?
Yeah, I've listened to. I know his biases plenty.
I'm so fucking pissed. You listen to another podcast about fantasy?
Plenty.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right. JJ, back to you.
Since it is a onesie position, but I think that's pretty good value. You know, he goes well after Zach Ertz, and by well after, I mean, 6 picks, 7 picks. But I don't see George Kittle going in the 4th round of many leagues. So I think that is a value. Also, getting Devontae Adams in the 2nd is something you don't see a whole lot. I'm very much into Allen Robinson as your wide receiver 3. If the Bears regress, and I think that they will regress some this year, in other words, they won't win 13 games. They say they win 8 or 9 or 10 games. They will have to throw more, and Allen Robinson stands to benefit tremendously from increased throw volume as a guy who saw over 20% target share in the games he played in 2018. I find myself drafting him quite a bit as a wide receiver 3 or 4. And Parker has tickled my fancy by having not only Matt Breida, but Justice Hill and Dion Lewis, 3 guys who I find myself drafting in almost every league.
So I don't know if all the lads at home noticed, but I actually dropped Dion Lewis for Ty Montgomery, and then heard this podcast and picked up Dion Lewis again.
That is what we call insider trading. This big boy needs to be in the fucking cage with Martha Stewart. Jesus fucking Christ. Get in the inside. To be fair, from what I've heard from him so far, you can listen to him all you want. We're going to be fucking fine and dandy. Keep it up.
Three guys with enormous upside, enormous volume-based upside in pretty good offenses. Of course, Deion Lewis being on the Titans doesn't really fit that mold, but I think that he could be very useful if the Titans are indeed bad this year, and I believe they will be. Let's move on to Paul's team. Paul gets to start not only Juju Smith-Schuster and Michael Thomas every week, but also DJ Moore. That is a pretty sweet trio of wide receivers. Well done there. I'm a little confused about why Paul has 3 quarterbacks. I mean, what are you going to do with all those quarterbacks? Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Cam Newton.
JJ, let me give you a little help. I'll tell you a little bit about Paul. This guy is so scared and insecure about his fucking team. He didn't know what to do. Palm sweaty, mom spaghetti, ready to fucking go. He was like, what? He was like ready because he had me week 1. He was like, I'm going to roll the dice. One of them will be lucky. He is the craps king, and that's what he did. He was like, I'm going to play craps with fantasy fucking football. I'm going to get 3 guys. One of them's going to blow up and hope to God I'm lucky. And we'll find out later if he was. Because that's all it would be, is fucking luck.
He did start, I think, his 3rd quarterback drafted, Lamar Jackson, to whoop you,
Yes,
right?
he did.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good trio, and I guess in a super flex league, you'd be set. I checked the settings on this league about 15 times before the podcast. I did not see a mention of Superflex. I think that you can better use your roster space, especially your bench space. Get rid of 2 of those guys, I don't even know who. There's such good options. Maybe keep Lamar Jackson. I guess that's who I have highest in my ranks. So
Lamar fucking Jackson you have highest? Are you fucking idiot? Jesus Christ, JJ, did you watch a single Louisville game? Do you know what the NCAA is? I will put my left nutsack on the line that after this season's over, Baker Mayfield will be a better player. I'm not saying score more fantasy points than him.
there's no reason to do that. Come on, Paul. All right, let's get into Charlie's team. Charlie picked Kenyon Drake in the 8th. Now, I'm old enough to remember, and remember I am quite old, when Kenyon Drake was being drafted in the 4th round and people were happy with it. They were thrilled to get Drake in the 4th or 5th round because of the foot injury and the general dysfunction of the Dolphins' offense. Drake has dropped quite a bit, but he remains the RB1 in Miami and an excellent pass-catching running back on an offense that will surely be forced to throw a lot this year. I think his pass-catching upside is tremendous. That's a nice pick there. I also like the way that Charlie started the draft with David Johnson, Tyreek Hill, and Julian Edelman. I think Tyreek Hill obviously has the wide receiver 1 overall in his range of outcomes, and Julian Edelman should be a target hog this year. I wouldn't be shocked if he went well over 140 targets in that Patriots offense. Congratulations to Mike for drafting exactly one quarterback. That's the way it's done. A very nice value on Drew Brees as your lone quarterback. I see you have Tony Pollard late in the draft. That would have looked really smart if the Cowboys weren't so dumb and decided to sell the farm for a running back. Alas, I don't think that Tony Pollard will have much fantasy value going forward. Though that really doesn't matter since you took him so late. And of course we have Melvin Gordon picked by Mike in the 6th round. It appears to be a lost pick or a wasted pick unless something drastic changes in the next couple days. Dex, who is known as the taco of this league. I think every league has a taco. I, as a kicker truther and a kicker analyst, I'm deeply offended that the kicker position has been linked to this character Taco, who is considered adult and a know-nothing. I have sued FX about this, and I hope to claim legal victory eventually. And I have to say, Taco, having T.Y. Hilton as your wide receiver 2, well, it would have looked great a couple weeks ago. It no longer looks great. I don't think T.Y. Hilton is a top 20 wide receiver option this year in fantasy. I think you're going to end up not playing him more often than you do play him. I see that you have Tyler Lockett and Calvin Ridley. Those are probably better options, honestly, than T.Y. Hilton in the luckless Colts offense.
JJ. So I'm gonna teach you something about football. It's a man sport. It's what they fucking do. It doesn't matter if I have fucking Paul out there who's got a string bean of an arm. If you throw it fucking up, T.Y. Hilton's gonna catch it all day, every fucking day. JJ, I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this. Right now, I am betting you T.Y. Hilton will be a top 15 wide receiver in fantasy football. And when he is, on your first podcast of the 2020 season, I get to go on and be a guest. If I'm wrong, you can come on our podcast and be a guest and spit your knowledge to the thousands and thousands of listeners we have. All right, JJ, now I'll let you get back to the rest of your speech.
Now we get on to Andrew, who played fast and loose with his wide receivers, taking Cooper Kupp as his wide receiver 1, Tyler Boyd as wide receiver 2, and Deed Westbrook as wide receiver 3. I think that based on volume, I think that you may have played that just right. I think Tyler Boyd, even when A.J. Green comes back, will be a reliable target-getting option in a bad Bengals offense. And Westbrook profiles as maybe the cheapest wide receiver targets you can get in redraft. Coaches obviously have raved about him. This is not a reason to draft a player, but it doesn't hurt. And the Jags could throw a lot this year, judging by how they operate in the preseason and getting Nick Foles, a guy who can actually, not be horrible like Blake Bortles has been. And the new offensive coordinator is pretty pass happy when it comes to play calling, as we saw last year in Minnesota. The ball's going to go two places in Jacksonville. It's going to go to Westbrook, and it's going to go to Fournette, and that's it. That's the list. So Westbrook could end up as your top wide receiver on this team. Let's get into Daniel's team. Daniel quietly picking Robert Woods in the 5th round. I think that is low-key one of the best 5th round picks you can make in a 10-team draft. Woods just kind of goes about his business, sees a lot of targets in a high-powered, high-scoring Rams offense. He was the wide receiver 1 for the Rams last year, and sometimes he's going off the board after Kupp and Cooks. And so that it's just a lack of respect, honestly. Robert Woods, it truly is the Rodney Dangerfield of fantasy wide receivers. Daniel also picked Mike Williams, who profiled really well in my fantasy equity score report, which you can find at draftdayconsultants.com if you are so inclined. Mike Williams, even if his touchdown rate dips this year, and I think that it will because it was fairly high in 2018, could quickly become an every week option even in 10-team leagues. I now need to chastise my man Brad for taking not one but 2 quarterbacks. He decided to get a pretty nice little value on Aaron Rodgers.
For the record, it's hilarious that he already knows that Brad is the kind of guy that you call my man. Just without even knowing him, just my man Brad.
That's how much Brad is my man, is that you can see his draft and you're just like, hype.
My man. My man Brad.
I get you. I see that Brad is an Instagram hoe. Literally, if your Instagram is popping and you play in the NFL, you're probably on Brad's team.
And then, 5 rounds later, for some reason, Brad decided I also need Tom Brady. I don't get it. And don't talk to me about bye weeks. I need him for Rodgers' bye week. No. We don't care about bye weeks, okay? This is a weekly game. the waiver wire will be full of at least decent matchups, maybe even great matchups. People drop their quarterbacks. Probably Paul is going to drop 2 great quarterbacks eventually, at least one.
Of course Paul is. And then, JJ, what Paul will do is Paul will pick up 2 more. And what Paul is going to do is he's going to roll the fucking dice. And he's going to hope he's going to get lucky. Because when you don't have skill, JJ, do you know what you do? You fucking go for luck.
So get rid of Brady, go get somebody else's handcuff running back, and you're set, Brad. You're set. Now, I can't be too upset with Gabe because he took Will Lutz, who's my favorite kicker. Obviously, it's always Lutz season. But, Gabe, you took Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston. I don't know why. Are you ever going to start Winston over Watson? I mean, maybe if Watson gets hurt or something? Anyway, fix that immediately. But really nice pick there with Larry Fitzgerald late in the draft. Larry Fitzgerald's ADP, I don't think incorporates the play volume that the Cardinals will have in 2019. Cliff Kingsbury has always run a ton of plays, obviously very pass heavy, and Fitzgerald could vacuum up a lot of short targets in an offense that, again, throws and throws and throws some more. I find myself kind of stumbling into Fitzgerald in a lot of drafts. I'd like to end here by calling out both Brad and Gabe for absolutely pooping their pants. Taking the Jags
Poop
defense,
pants,
Gabe
poop
took the Jags,
pants.
and then Brad quickly took the Rams defense. This was
Great content.
3
Dex.
picks after Dustin inexplicably took the Bears defense somewhere in the middle rounds. This is what we call a defensive run, and it should never happen, especially in a 10-team draft. Don't worry about defense. Stream the position, get someone late, just focus on week 1. You're not getting an advantage. There's very, very little year-to-year correlation between defensive performance in fantasy. Okay? What that means is the top defenses from last year are almost definitely not going to be the top defenses this year. And yet Dustin, Gabe, and Brad said, we are in an arms race over fantasy defenses, and I will not lose. Come on, guys. And that'll do it for this draft recap podcast. Best of luck, everyone, in 2019.
All jokes aside, JJ did a great job. Real name, Denny, but him and his co-host have the same opinions on everything and can't think outside the box. Decided to call him JJ the entire time. But I appreciate you sponsoring the pod. Everybody go check out their podcast.
Living the stream.
And every time Parker says it, it's amazing because he says, living the stream.
I just want to make sure I get it right, you know?
He always gets right. But real talk, Denny, we really did appreciate it. You did a great job. It was fun. Hope you enjoy our podcast as much as we enjoy yours.
What did you think overall of his draft review?
So when he started, I was like monotone as fuck, but like he's got that humor in his voice that I love.
Yeah, I love that humor.
You told me you're like, I like it a lot. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, all right. I was like, I could listen to him. And Denny, just so you know, I am a anti get any advice from anything that's not my big brain for fantasy football.
And it shows.
Does it?
It does.
I don't know about that.
I was actually, when I first heard this, I was nervous about how much good advice he actually gave to the league, and I was worried about this league getting more difficult. But your bullheadishness has shown me that I don't need to worry.
Shut the fuck up, Mr.
that
Fifth Place.
much.
Parker, you have never done better than fifth place. And you listen to 30 different podcasts. You know how much I don't worry about you? It's already gone.
Yeah, that's actually like a big thing that I want to improve on this year is not putting so much effort into fantasy and consolidating my effort into, a better use of my time.
I hope
but
you
thanks.
still get fifth place.
That really hit me in the heart, man.
Still get fifth place.
You know how much fucking work I put into this, man?
None. You put in
None work. I put in none work. He says.
You sit on the toilet and look up an article. Otherwise, you'd be playing Brawl Stars.
No, I play Brawl Stars in the toilet. I got like 7 fantasy tabs open right now on this laptop right here. And I listen to podcasts. And I'm not the taco.
And you wish you were.
I do not. You guys wish I was. That'd be the greatest taco this league's ever fucking have.
So boring.
I would be such a good taco. It would be up to you guys to craft the punishments in a way where I could exceed, but yeah, I think it'd be a great taco.
Well, that's our draft recap. And
Thanks, JJ, for doing that for us so that
Yes.
we didn't have to actually rank our own draft or anything.
JJ, you the real hero.
Apologies for reviewing it a week late so that a few of your decisions looked really stupid.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But it's a season-long game, you know? It's
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll re-review your review in December.
your re-review.
Yeah.
We'll review it.
Hey, we should get him to review our teams before the playoffs start.
He might do that.
He would. Yeah, he'll fucking do it.
fucking
Of
do it.
course he'll do it. If he gets another chance to be on the 10 Guys 1 Cup Fantasy Fluffers podcast, he will jump at the joy of doing that.
Okay.
But also, that's our draft recap.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Now it is my favorite segment of every podcast. Take it away, Parker.
It's called Parker's Fun Fact Time #NextGenStats. I even wrote it in.
I think he had a brain aneurysm trying
Yeah.
to think about that.
I just
Words!
words are hard, you know. No, the real problem is that I didn't actually decide what it was gonna be before the podcast, so I have to now look through my Twitter likes. All right, here's the first one. Week 1, tackles avoided. Who do you think is I have the top 6
Alvin
here.
Kamara.
Alvin Kamara's number 1.
Yeah.
That might be the first time you've ever just nailed it right out the gate.
Because watching him play was like, when that also was the Monday night game, so I saw that last night, was like, fuck you. Literally, fuck you. Like, did you watch that game? Did
No.
you see Alvin Kamara? It was like,
I heard it was a great game.
it was literally him running it was like if you saw a high school senior who's on varsity playing tackle football with middle school kids, where you need 3 of them to hopefully grab his ankle so he falls down. And even that, he put his hand on the ground and still made shit. He might be the best running back in the league.
Really?
Honestly, I think he is right now.
Do you have any stabs at the next 5 that I have on this list?
For avoided tackles, Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey's not on there.
What the flip-flop?
Lev Bell is number 2,
That's my boy. Scared me a little bit until he got that receiving touchdown.
though he is tied with Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs blew my fucking mind.
He did really good.
Literally, Josh Jacobs is the definition of when I gotta be careful what I'm saying because there's someone behind me. Never mind. I am canceling that part. Not gonna say it no more.
All right, we got Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, Damian Williams, and Chris Carson as the top.
Really, Damian Williams did not do well.
Who do you think had the highest percentage of play action? Quarterbacks.
Quarter play act. Oh, the who
Who ran the most play action?
play action plays.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
No.
Dex.
Give you one more guess.
Okay. Tom Brady.
No. Patrick Mahomes with 45.5%, and then Dak Prescott with
That pisses me
43.8.
off
Why?
because I fucking hate the Chiefs in division.
Really?
What do you mean, really?
Okay, I got one. Jimmy Graham. He scored 1 touchdown in week 1. Do you know how many touchdowns he had in 2018 as a whole?
2.
It was 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's at 50% already. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
That's double.
It is literally double. And then also I have here a chart of basically how each team scored fantasy points by position. And we have some outliers. Who do you think's the top? I mean, for total fantasy points scored.
Patrick Mahomes.
We're going teams. So
Oh,
as a team entirely.
Team, the Ravens.
Yeah, it's the Ravens. The Chiefs
Fuck
are
the
number
Ravens.
3, by the way.
I figured they'd be top 2. Didn't see 3. Ravens. Who would be number 2? The Patriots put up 33 points. I don't know who's number 2.
Cowboys is the Cowboys with
Really?
a total of 125.7 points out of them in standard scoring. Do you know what position the Cowboys put up their most points at?
Running back. The running back.
It was wide receiver.
Really?
46
Gallup went off.
46 points wide receiver, 14.7 at running back, which is actually like middle of the pack in the whole league. Do you know who's the last? The last three. Guess the last
The
three.
last is the Steelers.
They were third to last.
Okay. Steelers. Broncos scored a touchdown. Dolphins.
Dolphins were very last.
Okay. Which is crazy. Steelers scored 3 points. They scored 3 points. Dolphins put up 10.
That's crazy.
So even with that, they're still last place. Jaguars didn't do horrible. Who's Cardinals tied.
Cardinals did great.
Who is the second to last?
It's the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears put up a total of 46.8 points in fantasy in week 1. Total.
And their defense looked fucking filthy.
Yeah.
Like literally when they started playing, I was like, it's over. It's done. They kept Aaron Rodgers to 10 points. That's fucking amazing. Or 13 points. Was it 13? Something like that. Regardless, they still lost.
Do you know who scored the most DST points?
The person?
Team.
Yeah, we already said it. It was the Ravens.
No, they didn't score.
Oh,
The DST.
defensive.
Yeah, defensive.
My bad. It wasn't the Broncos. I know that for a fact.
It was the 49ers.
Really?
Yep.
They played the fucking Buccaneers. That's dumbass. Who the fuck drafts Jameis Winston and Deshaun Watson? Jesus Christ, Gabe, get it together.
Very last one. Who do you think was the highest scoring at running back as a team?
As a team?
As a team.
As a team.
As a team.
Say team one more fucking time. It was probably Titans.
It was not the Titans, no. It was the Chargers with 39.9 across their running backs.
Fuck was there? I didn't. Whatever.
Followed by the Panthers and then the Ravens. Wow. Ravens running backs actually clapped. And that is fun. That might be the most stats we've ever gone
That
through in
was
one
so
pod.
many fucking stats.
That was
Parker.
so
many fucking.
That's what happens
stats.
when I don't pick the best ones. Just run through them all.
He's like, I'm gonna do them all. I'll show you guys.
Why not?
You can't tell me what's good and what's not.
This is the content pod.
'Cause
This is
guess
the most
what?
content ever.
Parker and I have a podcast, and we can talk about whatever the fuck we want, and y'all still gonna listen
right.
every fucking week.
We could literally just play a YouTube video of the loudest farts of all time for like the next 10 minutes.
I bet you wouldn't know if it was Parker farting or not.
That's a fact.
That is 100% a fact.
Andrew, be sure to splice that in once we're all done with this.
Your farts?
No, YouTube top 10 best farts of all time.
Or just fart for us real quick. I'm recording. Do it. That's a Parker fart for sure.
I can't do it.
That was Parker's farting again. Fucking trombone ass.
Okay.
Well, we went out of order.
We did draft review already. Talk about week 1 results.
Yeah, boy. I hate that I can't know who's who. So, Miller, who'd you play? Brad? Yep. Week 1, we had Bradley the Cooper the third versus Andrew something Miller.
You don't even get Andrew the tech boy.
Miller's team didn't do bad. Didn't do great.
I can't talk shit about anyone's team's performance today.
We'll get there. Calm down. Brad put up 147 points. Miller 125. Aaron Rodgers against the Bears got about 13 points, but Miller had Carson Wentz with a fucking comeback win to put up 26 points. Zeke 13, Alvin Kamara on Brad's 24. Sony Michelle garbage. Joe Mixon garbage.
Jar Mixon.
I will say, DK Metcalf, I was like, guy's going to be a bust. Won't do nothing. I'm not mad about 12 points.
He looked pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Glad to have him in Dynasty.
The problem is, well, I guess he just has him in that spot, so he's wide receiver 2. And then he has Keenan Allen with 14. Miller with Cooper Kupp and Tyler Boyd. Those are both solid flex, solid wide receiver 2s. Not the greatest, but fucking... And do you want to know... Brad's tight end, I told him I like this guy a lot.
Who's his tight end?
Evan Ingram for the Giants. I was like, I like him a lot.
He's doing hot.
And Brad was like, you know what, Dex? You got a podcast. You're pretty fucking smart. You know your shit. He took Evan Ingram. And I can't be mad at anyone taking advice from me. So I appreciate that. All the credit goes to Brad for being smart to listening to me.
Hats off to Brad. Before we go on, actually, because we're going to talk more about scores, I have some more fun facts. Actually, let's talk about whatever is making you make whatever face you're making.
Marlon Mack scored 30 fucking points?
He balled out, man.
What the flip-flop?
Yeah, their offense is kind of fire.
It's because Jacoby Brissett is
Because he
good.
sucks?
Yeah,
Because he's
JJ fucking Jacoby fucking Brissett. JJ not knowing shit about football ass, wishing you knew more about it ass, thought that you were the fantasy fluffers ass. All right, what were you going to say before I did that?
I was going to say, I got my hands on some stats, courtesy of our stat boy, Dustin. So, do you know what the average score of the league was in 2017? If you were to guess before we implemented
116.
102.
Really? That low.
So that was
I guess Mike had a week where he was under 50.
So that was
Fucking Mike.
Pre two flex. Care to guess what the average in 2018 was?
Okay, so I thought you were talking about 2018. So 116.
2018 was 122.
Really? That high?
Yeah.
Even with Mike's bitch ass under 50 point league.
Yeah. And after my sandbagging at the end of the year, too.
Sandbagging some bitch.
Do you know what? So obviously we implemented like the half point per first down. How much do you think that'll like boost the averages? I guess that's the question. Like,
I bet
what
it
do you
boosts
think?
10 points.
10
I bet
points?
our average was 137.
Our average is 134. So that's a 12-point improvement from last year.
Math Dex isn't good at it.
Hey, you did a pretty good job, actually.
Yeah, but I said 10 points and jumped it up 15.
I wasn't going to call you out for that, but I'm sure the Stat Correction
Don't worry,
podcast
guys.
would have.
You can always trust Dex to call himself out when he's wrong, which doesn't happen a lot.
So, yeah, so we're only up an average of 12 points per game so far. We'll keep an eye on that and see how it goes throughout the year.
All right. Next matchup was Charlie, our reigning champ, the king of the 10 guys 1 cup, against a guy's name I forget on the weekly. Remind me again, Parker, who he played?
It's Gab.
There you go. Gab. I won't forget it next time. I promise, Gab. But Charlie fucking lost.
Yeah, Charlie fucking
What
lost
a
hard.
fucking pussy. Can't even drink. Only scoring 130 points. We gotta boost those numbers up, boys.
He got pretty bummed down by Tyreek Hill going out early.
Tyreek Hill fucked him hard.
Aaron Jones sucked.
Yeah, I don't know what. Just don't. No one. Listen, if you're ever gonna listen to anything I say, Green Bay running backs, while Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, are not quality players, guys. They are not. They are not. Listen to me. I am right 99% of the time right now.
Would you rather have a Green Bay running back or an Eagles running back?
Eagles.
Really?
100%.
Really? You hate the Eagles running backs.
Yeah, but I'd rather have the chance of putting him on a flex than the small, slim chance of them. They don't even run it in when they're in the 5. But Deshaun Watson, as we heard earlier, drafting 2 quarterbacks, but playing the right one. Saquon Barkley being fucking big-thighed, calfed-ass motherfucker with 19 points. Tevin Coleman, below average. No one really knows what's going to happen with the San Francisco 49ers. He did get injured and was out. We will say, Gab was high on his boy Godwin. And he talked about Godwin a lot. And he put up 13 points.
On 3 catches.
Yes.
So he got lucky on the touchdown dependency.
We'll get to someone else who got lucky. Then he had Travis Kelce, but fucking Delaney Walker on Charlie's team. 21 points. That man will not die. I feel like he was playing with Peyton Manning in 1998 in his rookie year. How the fuck is he still in the fucking league?
How many years of experience? He has 13 years of experience.
All right. He was not in the league in
How old do you think he is?
If he has 13 years, came out when he was 20, so he's 33.
He's 35.
Ooh, so he came out when he was 22.
Old boy.
Yeah, and that's fucking David Johnson did well.
Yep.
Josh Gordon did great. Duke Johnson did well. Julian Edelman did well. You know what? Not a bad for both of them. Ben Roethlisberger, fuck Charlie. And we'll talk about quarterbacks fucking their teams in a little bit also.
We got Dustin and Mike.
The matchup of a century. Literally the worst matchup.
The biggest
here.
blowout we may have ever had in this league.
If we just looked at quarterbacks, we would be like, all right, this is pretty close. Mike starting Drew Brees, 21 points. Dustin started Patrick Mahomes, 27 points. We have ourselves a ball game, boys and girls. The problem is Mike fucking sucks at fantasy football. Literally garbage.
I think it was but one podcast ago you called him the smartest.
You can be smart and suck at things too, Parker.
It's true.
It's the 21st century. I had to think about that one. They always fuck with me because it's always like the 21st, but we're 20. Next will be 22nd.
Yeah, it's a little bit behind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
weird.
confusing.
They why would we do
It's
that?
because we count 0.
Oh yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
Because
that
of
guy.
Jesus.
Honestly, Dustin scored 190. Mike scored 109. I don't think we need to talk anymore.
The luck strikes again.
Yeah, it's Dustin being Dustin. Literally, it's just Dustin.
He's got one God all to himself.
He does have one God to himself.
The next matchup is a great one. It's Paul versus Dex. In case
No, we used.
Well, we were going to do me first? I was going in order from the bottom up.
It's because ours are.
It's flipped, yeah. That makes sense.
That was like, why are you skip? Okay. We got to do yours first. I'm sorry.
All right, yeah, so we'll do mine first. I lost. I think my team underperformed quite a bit. That's about all it is to
You
it.
also had a thing in your head that Jared Goff was going to be a savior or something.
I mean, I thought he would at least be decent.
You had so many better options than Jared Goff. For fantasy.
Not on my team.
That being, yeah, your team. Devontae Adams, the Packers, they played that. Fucking,
played
I will
Bears.
say, I told Parker from the beginning, get Allen Robinson. He will be golden for you.
You did not tell me that.
I know I did it. I told him he was fucking garbage, and I don't know why I picked him up.
If the Bears and Packers game had been higher scoring, I could have had a chance against most people in the league.
You know what? Me too in a lot of mine.
But I also
fuckface.
played the second highest score of the week, which is apparently a trend for me.
How do you feel about having Josh Jacobs?
I like it. I said when I drafted him and Montgomery back to back, I said I just need one to pan out.
He did say that. And I hate the Raiders, and I hate Josh Jacobs. And right now, Parker's proving me wrong, and that only happens every once in a while, and I'm not happy about it.
I'm kind of happy.
But
about it.
fucking Daniel, not the highest score of the week, but I'm going to say it. Daniel has the best team.
Daniel's team's fire.
Fucking, I hate it. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, combined together are at 68 points.
66 points, by the way. 67. 68
Yes,
if you
you
do the decimals.
dumb fuck.
Oh, fuck!
Damn math not knowing.
Yeah, I don't do numbers.
Can you just trust me on this shit? Don't ever call me out again in numbers.
As
2 plus 2.
as a
6.
disclaimer,
Let's go.
we were drinking trying to get the fucking technical portion of the podcast for this podcast. I mean, the other podcast, the draft review podcast, to work in this for so long that we may have slammed quite a few drinks.
As
now.
a disclaimer to his disclaimer, if you ever listen to this and don't think we're drunk, then you're probably drunk. So we'll just go with that.
Daniel has the best team. It's bullshit. Let's
Just
move on.
Russell Wilson dropped so far. Our boy Parker, left hanging Johnson right here, picked Jared Goff over Russell Wilson. I don't like Russell Wilson, but the kid's talented. You can't take that away from him. He knows how to scramble. He knows how to make plays.
I think Goff will bring it around.
You fucking better think he'll bring it around. You drafted him.
It was a sad day. All right. Oh, next team. Next matchup, Dex. Let's go on. Let's move on.
All right, and we have the last matchup. Dextrick, Michael Abeda versus Paul. So here's the thing. For our audience, Paul Chur and myself had a little bet on this one. Parker, do you want to tell them what the bet was?
What is it? $100.
So it's the buy-in for
The
the league.
yearly $100 buy-in, and the winner gets to pick the losers' lineup for next week.
Yes.
And you play me,
Yes.
and you lost,
Yes.
which is great.
Shut up! So what happens
so
is-
did I spoil that for all of our thousands of viewers?
Whoever won our matchup gets to set the losers lineup after waivers and all that. Get it ready. So going into the 2:00 games, so that was Colorado time, I had a 2% chance to win. And do you know what Daddy Dex did? Daddy Dex did Daddy Dex things. And he downed a Smirnoff Ice for his following on Snapchat and said, if I'm going to come back, I'm going to come back one way. As the games progress, guess what 2% turns into? Maybe 4% because we doubling up. Now we're at 8 and all of a sudden I'm at 20 and we're like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Next thing we know, we're getting into the later games and I'm at 42%. I have a 42% chance to beat Paul. God lay me to rest. Dex had to go to sleep. And that's where it all went downhill. I had Jared Cook and Denver D against Paul's Michael Thomas while he was up 1 point. 1 fucking point. And he pulled it off.
What did you feel like when you woke up to that score?
I was like, so when I woke up, I was like, I can't be mad at that. I cannot be mad at this. Because I'm going to explain to you why Paul won. Why Paul won. Paul could not trust his own instincts. Paul was so fucking scared. He drafted 3 quarterbacks and prayed to God himself to help him. And you know what happened? He started Lamar Jackson, who put up 33 points. Won't happen again. Write it down. Sign it. Date it. I'm putting a big ice on it right now. Lamar Jackson does not score over 27 points again this year.
27?
27. Write it down, Miller, in the fucking Slack chat, r/bets, because it will not fucking happen ever again. But that's what Paul needed. Do you know what else he needed? He needed Mark Ingram to give him 23 points. 2 players. Paul got 55 points. 2 fucking players. And guess what happened? Daddy Dex had Baker Mayfield. Not his day. Not his day. Some say it's time to drop Baker Mayfield. But right now, God attest, listen to me, Baker Mayfield will be my starting quarterback this entire year. Besides his bye week, because that just doesn't work. With that being said, this was good. This was good. Paul needed this. Paul playing me is the highlight of his year. As he said to our group, quote, nothing can bring me down this week. Beating Dex week 1 is the next best thing to winning it all for me. Do you know what playing Paul is to me? It's my morning poo. You know, it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. Sometimes it's clean. Sometimes it's messy. I don't care. I own so much fucking real estate in Paul's head. All he can think about is me. I'm glad I gave this to him. It's like some kids think about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Paul's like, what is Daddy Dex doing today? Wow, can I top him? And Paul, you're welcome. You're fucking welcome. And I hope to God we see each other again in the fucking championship, because Baker, touchdown maker, will be back. And I ain't worried about nothing, because you can only get lucky so many times.
Well said, Dex. I got one question for you.
4.5. Hard.
Who's accepting your Lamar Jackson bet? You just kind of threw it out there.
I'm betting against myself. I'm just stating a fact.
You take it either way?
Yeah.
You're betting a big ice? So just with yourself?
Against the fantasy gods.
It's just you and your dick, right?
Yeah.
It's just you and your dick out there.
That's just how confident I am.
If anyone wants to accept that, feel free.
I don't
Andrew.
need anyone, but if you all, after you hear this, if you all accept it, I will drink 1 big ice every single week until I hit 9 big ices. But you all have to accept it, you fucking pussies. And you know you won't. You little bitch boys, so fucking scared. Do you know how I know? Because I'm sitting across the biggest pussy who I know won't do it.
I'll be a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Parker's balls finally dropped. Let's go.
27 points?
27 points.
Easy. When do they play the Dolphins?
Holy fuck. Wait, that's who they played.
Again.
They don't play them twice, not in the same division.
Ah, fuck. Well,
I will say that scared me for a second. I was like, the Dolphins suck. That's who they played this
hopefully,
week.
so don't write it in Slack. We'll let people listen, and then so when you guys listen to this podcast, say if you're in or not in the general chat.
Hey, Paul, don't be scared, buddy. It happens to all of us.
Okay, so I got a few questions about week one. Was anybody's performance surprising to you based on their draft?
Um,
I would say my performance was surprising to me personally.
I didn't think you did well. Mike's was probably pretty surprising.
Let me see Mike's team.
I thought James Conner would do better. I thought Brandon Cooks would do better. But I did not like Dante Moncrief or Sanders for Philly.
Mike has a knack for owning all of the players that I've either never given a fuck about or don't know about. So I never really, he wasn't that high on my draft rankings to begin
All
with.
right, Dustin's team. I literally, after the draft, I was like, Dustin has the worst fucking team in the league.
Yeah.
I said that many a times.
Big surprise for
Many
me.
of fucking Derrick Henry with 20. That's 30 points. Philip Lindsay still put up 10, and the Broncos played horribly.
Yeah, that's a very surprising performance.
I don't think Derrick Henry keeps it up.
I don't think so either.
But I've also said a lot of things.
He
that
has
I've been
good
wrong
weeks
about.
and mostly bad weeks, but he definitely has good weeks. So you think Dustin was like the most likely to have overperformed?
100%.
You think so? Yeah.
Do you know what my favorite part about last week was?
What's that?
So we use Sleeper, a very good quote unquote app, and it tells you, it gives you a little statistics. Guess who the low score point of the week was?
Who scored the lowest? Is that what you're saying?
I said that that's exactly what I said.
Well, Mike was the lowest scorer.
Who do you think was the second?
It was me.
Parker was the second lowest score of the week. Guess what? Also, Parker was. He was the best manager of the week.
That's a funny
So
stat to me.
do you know what that means? That means Parker did not leave anyone on his bench who could have scored more than his starter. So you started the best team possible.
97% optimal is what it said.
Yeah.
There's like one player who
Yeah.
scored a little
so
bit
at
more.
least you know who to start.
Yeah. The rest of them are just kind of flyers, you know. As
Eh.
long as no one gets injured, I won't die, right?
So you just need everyone you play to score less than 109 points. And you'll be golden. That's what that means. Because you know how to start the best team that's on your shit team.
yeah. All I'm saying is that my bench didn't do very well.
Yes.
Yes.
I was
I'm
just
fully aware of
calling
this.
you out.
I think everyone knows exactly what that stat means. I think my hope is that next week that'll mean a little bit more, you know? Like someone who actually scored decently would get that award. Hopefully it's not me again. We'll see. But, you know, best manager. No one can take that from me.
No one can, and they won't.
Who do you think underperformed the most?
I did.
Let me look for someone who's not you or me. Mike obviously performed very poorly.
100% me. Go to my team and tell me it didn't underperform.
What parts of it do you think?
Baker Mayfield, 9 points. Leonard Fournette, 11.
Tennessee's D is good, man.
I told you T.Y. Hilton. JJ, I said T.Y. Hilton is amazing. 25 points.
Broncos at -2 though.
Yeah, that one hurt a little bit. It hurt me. You
They
want
didn't
to know
have
the
a-
worst part? You want to know the worst part is? I needed 10 points from Denver D, and I needed Denver to win because I'm a Denver fan. They did neither.
They did not.
They literally they couldn't have fucked me harder if we were in jail raw.
Did you know that the Broncos didn't have any positive defensive scoring? It was only points against.
You know, you're not the first person to bring that up to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, the guy I work with, he is a Steelers fan and was real upset when the Steelers scored 3 points. So he had to tell me every bad thing about the Broncos game this
Wow.
morning.
This is at your new work?
Yeah.
You've known this guy for like a week?
He's the night manager. So he's like my coach.
So he has an awful life.
He's actually he's like David Velez when it's like David Velez number 2. Essentially.
Oh, well, I can't wait to drink with that guy.
Yeah.
Sounds nice. I would say my honest vote for who performed the worst, that's not you or me, is probably Charlie. 130 points. Tyreek Hill got injured, man.
Yeah,
that sank him.
Aaron Jones is just so bad. I honestly
He's talented. He just it never works out.
Talented.
Yeah, he's pretty talented.
What did Charlie leave anyone on the bench? What's his bench look? Matt Ryan, fucking Gallup.
Matt Ryan would have been a good play. Gallup wouldn't have been a
Who's
good play.
Waller? I thought I said Waller. Oh, fucking Alshon Jeffrey. The problem is Charlie's running backs on his bench are garbage.
You know, some idiot in Slack today, I don't know who it was, so I'm just going to call him an idiot, said that nobody could have won by playing different players. That's not fucking true. Charlie played Matt Ryan and Gallup over Ben Roethlisberger and Tyreek Hill. Definitely would have beaten Gabe.
Who said that?
That was a fucking lie.
I'll say it. Who said it? It was Paul. It was
I
Dustin.
think it might have been Mike.
Mike's an idiot.
I'm just swinging. Yeah, all right, we'll just leave it at that. We'll blame it on Mike. We're not known for getting things right anyways.
Hey, so do you know what my favorite part is? Watching Gabe start Larry Fitzgerald next week, and he puts up 3 points.
You think that's going to happen? I think he'll score more than 3. Jesus.
You think he'll score more than 3?
Yeah.
You want to put an ice on it?
More than 3 points for Larry Fitzgerald next week?
Yes.
Who are they playing?
Baltimore.
Yeah, I'll bet that.
Okay.
I'll bet nice on that.
All right.
Okay, you're fucking retarded, Dex.
How am I
You're
retarded?
fucking
How many ices have you done this year?
1.
How many have I done?
At least 2.
That's it.
Okay, 2. So, yeah.
So you're half as retarded as I am. So
the Cardinals really let me down on that drive.
I gotta bet on you being dumb half as time as much
All
as
right,
me.
we're going to improve that that ratio very quickly.
I hope he doesn't get a catch.
Oh,
They're like,
fucking 3 points? What? How? It's the stupidest
needs
bet
a-
you've made all year.
he needs
He needs
two
one
and a-
10-yard
he needs
catch.
a 25-yard catch. Oh no,
For a first down?
He needs a 20-yard catch,
for a first down.
and the catch is
Or
3 points.
2 catches for like 5 yards.
No, that's
And 1 for a
50.
first down.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Math.
Let's just go fuck Daniel.
Yeah. Fuck Daniel.
Fuck Daniel.
Fuck Daniel.
I like to make money, get turn. I like to make money, get.
Dex is taking a fat leak.
JJ.
On to you, JJ. I can't believe I got that wrong. It's funny because I mixed them up so much.
You listen to this guy, right?
I actually did a lot last season. Even Paul and I had a big conversation where I was like, "Hey, which one is which again?" Because
Do they share a podcast?
yeah, so they're both on Living the Stream.